You're with Tonight at 8. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. Our top story tonight from Kolkata, a horror story of a woman who died after being sent from one government hospital to another and back to the first, hours after she gave birth to twins on the pavement where she lived. The hospitals are denying that the woman was ever brought to them. Her illiterate husband has no papers to prove his story. He has admitted the twins now to a government hospital, praying that they will survive the exposure to the cold endured during that journey from hospital to hospital.
The newborn twins have survived the ordeal, but their mother Usha Devi is dead. Born on this pavement home in central Kolkata around midnight, the husband begged a taxi to take his wife and newborns to a hospital, but it was a journey made in vain. First stop, Chittaranjan Shishu Sadan, sent them off to Shambhunath Pandit Hospital, which sent them back to Chittaranjan, where he was told, "Your wife is dead." The husband is not sure when his wife died in the taxi, but none of the hospitals even bothered to take the newborns into their care.
तब वो बच्चा पैदा हुआ, उसके बाद जो है वो बेचारी बेहोश पड़ गया।
दोनों बच्चा पैदा हुआ?
हाँ, दोनों बच्चा वहीं पैदा हुआ। उसके बाद बोला कि जाके टैक्सी बुला, हम हॉस्पिटल जाएंगे। जब तक टैक्सी बुलाने के लिए गए, जब तक का देखते हैं दम टूटा हुआ।
The health department has set up 2 inquiries, one of its own and another by Chittaranjan Shishu Sadan. But within hours, Chittaranjan has concluded there was not only no negligence, the family never came to the hospital at all.
The thing is that there is no evidence, no documentary evidence, no supportive evidence from my hospital. He's saying like that. Then I asked him repeatedly, thrice I asked him, what is the name of the hospital? आप किस hospital की बात कर रहे हो? आपको पता है कौन सी hospital है? Maybe he is confusing with the hospital. I don't know. I'm really clueless.
The father, impoverished and illiterate, was not available for further comment. He has not registered a formal complaint either with the police or the hospital. With Monadipa Banerjee in Kolkata, Soumya Menon, NDTV.
Well, the twins now facing their first few days in this world. They've already had that absolutely traumatic experience as they were born. They're already suffering from exposure to the cold. And, well, what fate has in store for them, no one can really say at this point. Well, Monadipa Banerjee bringing us that story tonight from Kolkata. A lot of people already talking about how the Chief Minister of the state is also the Health Minister. No Health Secretary so far has commented, and hospital authorities too really not being able to add much clarity to that entire story. Monadipa, if I can come across to you now, what is the latest? What are hospital authorities saying at this point? We believe the twins are in fact now at one of those government hospitals which had initially turned their mother away. What more do we know?
Yes, the twins are in the Chittaranjan Shishu Sadan, which is the first hospital that the family had gone to in the dead of night around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. The twins are underweight and suffering from severe exposure to cold because they were obviously carried from one hospital to another again in the dead of night, and that would have some impact on them. But the hospitals in fact are really coming out with a curious twist to the whole story. The last I spoke to the superintendent of the Chittaranjan Shishu Sadan, he actually raised questions about whether the family had come to his hospital at all. He said there is no documentary evidence to show that the family had indeed come to the hospital. And you know, the father who sort of disappeared after a while, he too didn't have any papers to show that he had come to this hospital. But the father, Mr. Tati, very categorically told me that once he had managed to get a taxi to ferry his wife and newborn twins, he had come to this hospital, which is where we were standing, which is the Chittaranjan Shishu Sadan. And from there he was told to go to Shambhunath Pandit. From there, he was again sent back to Chittaranjan. At Chittaranjan, he was finally told his wife had died, and so they could not admit her into the hospital. He went back home. So that is the tragic tale of the Tati family. Fortunately, the infants are okay, though the doctors have kept them under observation for 24 hours. But no real clear picture emerging as to what really happened to the Tati family in the night, last night, when they went from one hospital to another for help for the wife who had delivered her twins on the pavement and the twins themselves newborn into a cold night. A very, very tragic tale indeed. A lot of condemnation coming in from across the city, which feels that this is something completely heartless and unacceptable that could have happened to the Tati family.
Right, Monadipa, no doubt a story that will weigh on Kolkata's conscience for some time to come. Thank you for joining us with those details.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.